Well, hello, my friends. You probably thought I had fallen off the face of the earth again, but nay, I say. Utah has been inundated with rain and more rain and more rain, and you guessed it, even more rain. It's rained twice this spring, once for 45 days and once for 38 days. I don't know. Anyway, so I have not been able to get out and do anything, and not many people have. At least, I don't know what southern Utah's like, but northern Utah has been just non-stop. And I'm not talking sprinkles, kind of moody weather. I'm talking downpours for days, and you just couldn't get out in it at all. It would have made for a pretty miserable experience. So I'm all for camping in the rain, but not non-stop rain. And so for the first time in years, because of our heavy snowpack and heavy rains, Utah's finally out of a drought situation. So that's good news, but it's made it really difficult to get out. Now, today's weather is kind of moody, but not bad. It's 70 degrees in the valley. Up here where I am at the Maples, we've returned to the Maples like I said I would in my last video. It's 61 degrees, so 10 degrees cooler than the valleys. 40% chance of rain today. Tomorrow, 10% chance of rain. We have a 2-day break in the rain, and another storm rolls in a couple of days. So I'm gonna try to make this a 2-night adventure. I don't have my kids. It's Memorial Day weekend. Why not? Why not be up here where I'm happiest? So let's get going. A little quick story. My dog Bob, my Saint Bernard, was so good as to tear into my food bag that I had packed in my backpack here. Basically, I worked last night. I came home and I slept for a while, and then the plan was get up, grab my backpack, throw it in the car. I was already packed, and just go. Well, I left my backpack sitting in the living room. Here's a shot. And here's a shot of what I woke up to this afternoon. Yeah, so bad dog. I scolded him. He knew he did wrong, but you know, we're buddies again. He tore open my waterproof food bag and literally ate not just the snacks, but wrappers and all. There's a lot that you saw in that picture that's not there anymore. So I had to clean that up, take care of things at home, get my backpack in the car, find another bag because my waterproof bag is no more. So I'm just using a duffel bag. Well, it's not a duffel bag, it's a stuff sack, but I don't think it's waterproof. So I had to go to the store and buy all new stuff, drop another 35 bucks on all the stuff I just bought so that I could survive up here for a couple of nights. As a result, I'm going to have to hand carry my food bag. I'll have my backpack on, but I'm gonna have to hand carry this food bag into camp. Luckily, we're not hiking very far. The other food bag was already packed in my backpack, and now I just didn't want to pull everything out and reorganize everything and waste even more time. It's already almost 4 p.m. and I just want to get into the woods and have some fun. So thanks, Bob. You're awesome. He's probably mad that I went camping without him, but he's more of a car camping dog. And this is a backpacking trip. So let's get on the trail and let's head back to the Maples. If you saw my last video, I did a kind of a day hike up here. It's greener, it's thicker, it's lusher than it was just a few weeks ago when I did that video. And I know exactly which campsite we're headed to. So I'll shut up, let's get going. So here's my ginormous bag. It doesn't just have food in it, it also has camera gear. Beautiful. Still lots of snow up there. Not as much as last time though, which is encouraging. It smells amazing out here. If you know what quaking aspen smells like after a rainstorm, it's incredible. It takes me back to my childhood, going up to my grandfather's cabin in the Uintas. Smelled like this all the time. We've got the Spitfire tent with me. You can see it on top there. I brought a lot of stuff because I'm here for 2 nights, and I know this still seems excessive, but again, if you've watched my Maples videos, I'm only hiking in maybe a mile, so why not bring extra stuff and be comfortable? If I were doing a Uinta hike further into the backcountry, of course I would lighten my load and really scrutinize what I bring. I think my pack probably weighs 35 pounds with food and water, which isn't horrible. It's not an ultralight trip. Don't know if I'll ever be ultralight, to be honest. I like the idea. I've never quite been able to accomplish it without spending copious amounts of money on gear that is truly ultralight. So most of my gear is regular light. Such is life when you're on a budget. Can you guys hear the frogs? You know what's funny about those frogs? Hopefully you can hear it on camera. They sound huge. They're so loud. But I went hunting for some once back in high school and found them. And they were literally that big around, like a quarter. Big, fat little suckers. Gray with black spots. Maybe later we'll hike down here and check it out. I've lost some weight and I keep losing my pants underneath my pack. I didn't think to wear a belt because I've worn these pants, these hiking pants, 1,000 times. Of course I washed them in between, but I've never used a belt. And now I really need one, because now I'm carrying a bag and a camera and I'm holding my pants up. Kind of sucks. So this area right in here, in my last video, I cut through here, went up the hill to the Maples. You can see how much it's grown in. It's getting harder and harder to see, and before you could see all the way up there just a few weeks ago. In the interest of time, I'm tempted to cut through here, but there's green foliage now and I really don't want to trample it. So we'll just keep going this way up to the meadow. It's only just over that little hill right there. That's the way we came. Here's the meadow. This trail continues through that wooded area, and eventually we'll go up to Sardine Peak there in the middle of the screen. But as per usual, this is our turnoff. You can see where cars used to drive when this was an open campground. Whew. This pack is
pretty taxing on my cardiovascular system. Our camp is not very far in. This used to be a bushcraft shelter someone built. Looks like the winter got the best of it. Look at that. Just a beautiful, seemingly endless tunnel of green. And I'll bet you I have it to myself. Now on that last hike, I noticed a table that I had never seen before that was off the trail and hidden from view. It's still not quite hidden from view, but trust me, it will be. This is the tree I used to mark where it was. You got one tree that split into three. Big scrub oak with this mark in the side. Now it seems kind of silly because the table is right there and you can see it fine. But trust me, in a few more weeks all of this will have grown up and filled out and you won't be able to see that table at all. But that's where we're camping. So let's cut through here. It's already a bit of a jungle. There's not really a trail leading to the table. There we go. Here we are. This is the same table from the last hike. And we have a fire pit, but I don't know. The question is, will I build a fire tonight? And that largely depends on how drenched the vegetation is. Maybe. I have the means to do it. I just don't know if I will. It would be nice though. I really want to make this home sweet home for a couple of nights. Let's get this thing off. My old man back is about ready to bust in half. You young whippersnappers wouldn't know what that was like. Oh. So first things first, I went ahead and scouted out where to put my tent. A lot of times with a campsite like this, one that used to be a developed one, you can find where they had a tent pad. Not necessarily marked off, but a nice flat level piece of ground. But we're talking years of non-use and overgrowth, so it's been kind of a challenge. I've been walking around here for a few minutes and I thought, well, maybe here. But I don't like the looks of the oak above it. It's kind of level right there. I don't want anything falling on me in the night. And then I thought, man, this is a nice little grove, you know. But you can't tell on camera, it kind of goes uphill. And I'm afraid I'm going to end up at the bottom of my tent during the night. So, what I've settled on is this spot here. I pulled up a root that was sticking up and it looks like it's mostly free of debris, mostly level. No widow makers. Nothing's gonna fall on me and kill me in my sleep. So there you go. I think our tent's going right here. It's the best spot I can find, really. Everything else is on kind of an incline. So we'll get that set up. We'll get camp set up right back there. And our cooking and eating area set up. We'll clean out the fire pit just in case I decide to do a fire. And we'll go from there. Okay, the tent is up. I put down a ground cloth. They make a footprint for this tent, but I have this reflective emergency blanket that's really kind of thick, not like those cheap ones, and I use it to go under the tent all the time. It's more versatile. It's not just the shape of this tent. I can kind of tuck it in and use it on any tent. So it also reflects the heat back up towards me. So this is my Spitfire. Probably seen this in other videos, but that's all right. Inside, we are set up for bed. I've got Thermarest inflatable pad. This is an Outdoor Vitals pillow. You can get that for free if you just pay for shipping online right now, at least at the time of this filming. This is my jungle blanket by Snug Pack that I absolutely love. I've actually gone backpacking in the summer just using this instead of a sleeping bag, and it works great down to about 40 degrees. So I've got my, also an Outdoor Vitals product, my Airy 30, this blue, of course it's blue. It's actually an underquilt for a hammock, and I've used it for that. I used it last year on my Kings Peak trek. But it makes a fantastic overquilt too. So I've used it that way. Super lightweight, down. Going to be comfortable tonight. There's a look at the inside. Foot box, the whole thing. I've had to repair this in the past with some punk rock duct tape. Camped a little too close to a fire once and put a couple of holes in big enough to let bugs in the netting. So I had to repair it, and I'm not a stickler on, you know, everything looking pristine. So basically I just use duct tape instead of a repair kit. And yeah, that's it. So you've already got an ant crawling on my tent. So it's good that we have the no-seam mesh. Let's keep that zipped. All right. So there's that. That's set up. We're ready to go to bed when the time comes. And now you may have noticed in the time lapse that I used these logs. That was just to weight this down so it wasn't blowing all over the place while I set the tent up. I sent it up into the sky. The only thing I wish this Spitfire had, and I love this tent, I'm gonna keep using it. See how firm this side is when you pull the door out and it zips and it's just nice and solid. I do have tie-outs to support it if it's windy, but these are gonna flap around like nobody's business. I wish there were just a couple of loops there and there. Anyway, minor details. It just, you know, can wake you up in the night. The wind starts blowing, your tent's flapping around. I used to be a heavy sleeper, but not so much anymore. It's got this great little vent for airflow. And of course it allows for plenty of airflow up in there. All in all, a great tent. Now we're going to clean out that fire pit. It's pretty overgrown. A lot of leaves and twigs in there. A lot of things growing over the top of it. So I'm going to have to clean up this whole area to make it safe for a fire. I may not have a fire. This may just be busy work. But hey, at least it'll be usable by whoever comes here. Okay, I've got it cleaned out mostly. There were a lot of snails and earthworms living in here. It's just very soft, muddy ground. Fire danger out here is extremely low this time of year, especially after all that rain. So we should be okay. I've got a good amount of clearance all around it. I cut down a couple of small trees that were coming up really close to the ring. Figured it was okay if it was for the fire ring. I don't normally cut down living trees, but they were like growing up over this and they would have burned anyway. So went ahead and cut those. And we have a fire ring There's a lot of wood around here, but I got to concentrate on the aspen because that's going to burn. But this oak, if you've ever tried to burn scrub oak, it does not burn well. It's very slow, and it's a very hard wood. Wink, wink. So it doesn't burn very well. The aspen is soft, and if it's dried out, it burns well. There's no pine anywhere in here that I've seen. Maybe a stray tree here and there. If you head over that way towards the ski resort, tons of pine, but not through the maples. Oddly enough, I don't really see any maple trees. Maybe they used to dominate this area. Maybe that was just a name, I don't know. So anyway, our fire pit's ready. Now we got to organize this. Disaster. Okay. Okay, my friends. We're set up. This is pretty cool. Except for one minor but kind of important detail that I noticed that I'll get to in a minute. Over here I set up my new backpacking chair. It's not super light, but it's pretty light. I carried that on the back of my pack, made by a company called Moon Lens. Blue, of course. Just set that there by the pit. I don't know if it'll make a good fire pit chair because of the way you kind of recline in it, but we'll see. You can use it anywhere. That's just where I decided to put it. Over here on the table we have my sit pad, Mr. T-Max Special. Sorry, Joseph Shanks gave me that. And I got my frog togs in case of rain, my little rain suit, super lightweight. I brought some bug spray. Yes, it's DEET, so I'm going to be retarded by the end of this trip if you ask some people. I haven't seen any bugs, hasn't been a problem, but I don't know, maybe closer to evening. I brought my Mora bushcraft knife. That's what I used to cut down those little trees that were over here. Also has a fire striker, makes a great fire starter if I need it, and has a sharpening stone built into it. This has been a fantastic knife. I'm quite pleased with it. Moving right along, I got my charger, my solar charger. This is fully charged at home, and then you can see there the green light that it's charging because it's sitting in the sun. They recommend that you charge it at home and then just use the sun as a top off. I bought it because I need something reliable on longer backpacking trips for my camera gear. This is a Rav Power. I've done a preview on that already. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. My charging cables for my GoPro and this camera and my phone. Okay, and then over here, Bob Jr., what are you doing? Naughty dog, look how happy he looks. He's having a great time. Okay, he's been a bad dog today, which is a segue into my issue that I was going to bring up a second ago. Now I have 2 cans of fuel. I have my cook pot. I have my spork. I have a collapsible cup. I am set to cook, right? Except one thing. My little tiny backpacking stove. I put it in my food bag. Yes, my friends, the very food bag that Bob Sr. back at home tore into. And when I cleaned up the mess, I failed to notice it probably still sitting on my living room floor. So I don't have a stove to cook with. However, I always bring a backup. I've got this little foldable Espit stove. I have one actual Espit cube, and I have a whole bunch of these little knockoff Espits that you pretty much have to light 2 at a time to get the same effect as one Espit cube, but they work. So I'm not screwed. I can still heat water, not a problem. Really upset me for a minute because I brought 2 MREs, those are dinner, but the rest of the food, a lot of it needs to be heated in my cook pot. We'll go into what I brought for dinner later, or for food later, but holy cow, that dog. Anyway, this is just, I decided to get good and loaded while I'm up here, and I figured half a gallon should do it. I don't know if that's half a gallon. Might be a quart. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I found that in the woods. Perfectly intact. Somebody got loaded up here. I'm going to carry this out. It's never going to break down. It's always going to sit here in the woods. no need for it to be here. So I'm just keeping it handy. I might actually clean that up and do something crafty with it. Anyway, let's see what else. I got my saw to process firewood if I need to. I brought my trail camera with fresh batteries. I remembered this time. I always forget to bring that thing, and then I hear things outside my tent in the middle of the night. I have no idea the next morning what it was. You can see it's been crapped on by birds. I've had it on trees and whatnot. I've even used it in my home when I'm away as a security camera. It's infrared, so it should be fun. I'll set it up somewhere. I don't know. I don't think I'll put it by my tent. I think I'll aim it at camp here. So I have my journal. I like to do some journaling once in a while. I'm not religious about it, but I do like to keep track of my thoughts and my feelings about things. And I guess that's about it. You'll notice Bob Jr. has his companion with him. I thought that was kind of cute. She didn't look nearly as happy as he did. Yeah, anyway, there you go. They always come on a trip with me. Well, Bob Jr. does. This one's been on a few with me when I couldn't find him. Then I found him again, and so I haven't really brought them both. But maybe I'll bring them both from now on so they don't get lonely. Holy crap, people. I've spent too much time alone. All right. Here's my ridgeline. This is my Exertion packable down jacket. This is my fleece. Just a generic Walmart fleece, I think. And inside I have a beanie stuffed in here that's also fleece. I don't know how cold it'll get, but this is my roll pack, of course. My infamous roll pack. It has my hygiene kit. I've got little collapsible towels and toilet paper and toothbrush and toothpaste and whatnot. This is my fire kit, obviously for starting fires. I've got a pocket bellows in there, some different means of... Oh, look what I found. I was wrong. Bob, you're off the hook. Praise Jeebus. Yes, yes, yes. I thought for sure that was in my food bag. Okay, I feel bad. Sorry, little guy. Please forgive me. So we are cooking on gas. Real gas. I'm so excited. So glad I decided to do show and tell, because I wouldn't have even noticed that was in there. Okay, and then in the bottom we have Ziplocs, medication, rubber gloves, first aid, band-aids, Neosporin, bite stick for if I get eaten alive by mosquitoes, and some moleskin. Just the basics. My hat, all of my stuff sacks in one bag, and I hung my Platypus 3-liter right here from the tree. That should be enough water. I didn't bring a water filter, so I'm hoping. Look at that sun come through that. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, there's that. I put my backpack over here. I put the rain cover on it just in case. There's nothing in it now. It's empty. And then what else do I have to show you? Over here, if I don't kill myself on the way, quite a ways off, we have my food bag hanging from this aspen. It's up there about 12 feet, not quite 15 as recommended, about 3 feet out, and my other piece of cordage is holding it up courtesy of this oak. So as you can see, that's a good distance off from my tent and my cooking area. It's over here by itself. I'm not concerned about bears. I don't really know if there are bears up here. I think there are. And this time of year, when everything melts and thaws out, they start becoming more active. But I really think little critters are more what I have to worry about getting into that in the middle of the night. Raccoons and whatnot. Last time I was up here, I listened to an owl hoot at night, right up in there. So hopefully maybe tonight we'll have the same experience. Well, that is it. That is my setup. Whew. Finally. What time is it? We got here about 3:45 in the afternoon. It is now 5:45. It's taken us 2 hours to set up camp. I do have phone reception up here, which is awesome, because on the other side of those mountains is Ogden. I'm really not that far away from the city. But look around. Does it seem like it? Pretty awesome. Okay, next step. I'm not ready for dinner. Probably won't eat for a while. I had a huge lunch before I came. So we're going to walk straight up into there. I want to know more about the Maples. I discovered this particular campsite on accident last time. I usually only camp at one straight over there and one further down, and those are the only two I knew of. This used to be an entire campground. And so I'm dying to know what's that direction. I know there's a mountain eventually, but I would like to hike straight back and just kind of get a feel for the area. I come up here so frequently, it's important that I know my way around. So let's do that. I forgot to mention, for these little hikes, I do have a headlamp, by the way. I brought this collapsible new Outlander backpack. I love this thing. We're going to take that with us and just do a little exploring. I've decided not to take this with because really I'm not going that far right now. I'll take it with when we do a little more hiking on this trip, which I plan to do when you know, I have to have water with me and snacks and whatnot. But right now I don't really need that. I'm not going very far, so I've got my phone, my multi-tool, a flashlight, this camera, my wallet, my keys. And my pants are falling down again. Well, I've been hiking for a few minutes now. Camp is straight back that way. There's a ravine that runs right through here that I'm kind of following up so I can find my way back. It's not that hard. But this is what I'm seeing, really. Just a whole lot of forest. It's kind of drizzling on me right now, but nothing to worry about. Look how beautiful and green. I don't see anything else up this way. I don't know what the original layout of this campground was. I keep thinking I might accidentally stumble upon another site, but maybe not. I can see right up here there's a clearing just beyond that green patch right there. So we'll hike up to there and check it out and see what's up there. And then what I want to do is hike around and then back down and back to camp. At least I'll have a better feel for this area. I like to make my favorite stomping grounds feel like home when I'm there. Well, there's a power line, and I've come out onto a road, a very old road. Look how the branches have grown over it. So I know where this connects back that way. I don't know where it goes this way. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, this follows this trail, follows these power lines. It's most likely a maintenance trail for these power lines. So it's not really a road, but it's wide enough it could have been at one time. That right there is the ski resort, Snowbasin. Not much snow left. This side where we are is Forest Service land. That's what I love about it. All the crowds stay over there. And you get some day hikers quite often through here, going to Sardine Peak and whatever. But I usually have this place to myself. I have seen other campers here. Look at these. This is that ravine I've been following. You see there's still some snow here, just little patches. And it continues down that way and pretty much runs right to camp. So one thing I've figured out, down in this area is where we're camping. there's a drop off here from this road. It goes down and then it just is like a big bowl down there. So that has to be where the entire campground was contained. I'm sure there are people watching this that remember this campground, and maybe you can chime in. I would really appreciate it, actually. So far I found the 3 camping sites, former camping sites, and I'm just wondering if I'm missing something, if there's more in there. It's so overgrown and it's been so long that it's been empty. It's really hard to tell. But you can tell when I turn this way, there's no way it continues up there. That's just a mountainside all the way to the top. So definitely down in that bowl where we are is where it would all be contained. What I'm really looking for is something a little further off the main trail where you can't be noticed so much, because people do walk by where I'm camped all the time, and I like my seclusion and privacy when I camp. I'm all for going camping in a trailer and in an official campground with lots of people and having a good time and, you know, just enjoying each other's company. But mostly I'm an introvert, and I like to be alone too. That's how I recharge my batteries. Look at this. This is looking down into where we are, where the campground was. And it's just big, open, beautiful area. We need to go down there and walk right through the middle of it, I think. That is, after all, how I found the site we're at now. I just stumbled on it last time I was hiking. So we'll do that. We'll go down and we'll just cut straight through till we come to our camp. Come to a large dip in the trail. It's kind of beautiful through here. I may bushwhack down through there. I know what I said about stepping on greenery, so I should just shut up and not do that. It looks pretty thick in there. I don't know. I just don't want to go up this hill. It's steeper than it looks on camera. I'm not looking for the lost ark. I just want to check this area out. Here's some drainage pipes for the runoff right there. Comes right down this ravine, right into those pipes. And no doubt, right there, out the other side. We're going to go down through here. Okay, we've come down through there. All this thick stuff. It wasn't too bad getting through here. And we're going to head over this way and cut right through the middle of what I think was the Maples Campground. This is that bowl, that little bowl I was just looking down into from up there. And look at this. Look at these enormous ancient pine trees. Or they're actually blue spruce. Different than pine, but still. You know what I mean. They're huge. They're like prehistoric. Not like giant redwoods, but for this area, so huge. And it literally stops right here. And it's all oak and aspen. It's so weird how it just says, you know what? This is as far as we go, guys. These are like the guardians of all of this. They're like, none shall pass. This is huge. I mean, you can't tell on camera, of course, but this really is pretty big. This spruce is ancient. Look at those tree limbs. It looks like something out of The Hobbit. Wow. Very beautiful, cool, green, secluded, peaceful. Right over here I just saw a squirrel. I haven't seen any. We tend to stick to the pine trees, of course, but I haven't seen any near my camp. And I just watched him scurry over here and run up that tree. Way up there probably by now. Probably watching me, but I can't see him. Big bushy tail, big fat thing. He's been eating well. As far as wildlife I've seen up here, I've walked across deer before. Last year when I was leaving camp to go home, I had to stop on the main trail because two mooses came walking across the trail. I have a tendency to attract mooses. I don't know what it is, but I've had several run-ins with angry mooses, especially during rutting season in the fall. So they kind of stared me down, and I slowly backed off and cut through the woods. And I had already packed up my camera, so I don't think I even got it on film. But that's about it. And I've heard that owl hooting at night, or hooing. They don't really say hoot. Look at this. Look at this bark stripping festival going on. It's just falling right off that tree. Okay, so I've hiked clear through all of this from back up there. Have not encountered any more tables. This winter was so heavy, there are a lot of these fallen trees that weren't there before. They just got decimated by the tons of snow we got this last year. But here's where I am now. If you saw my last video, you'll recognize it. I'm hiking back towards the road. Was hoping there were more campsites somewhere through here, but haven't seen them. This is where I had lunch in my last video. And it looks like other people have used this spot since then, because I cleaned up the plastic bottle that was in there and they left their trash behind. Anyway, looks like it's been used. They've scooched the logs together. I've camped here before. I filmed videos here. I do really like this spot, but as you can see, that's the trail. All the way to the meadow down there. It does not look like there are any more surviving tables that I can see. There are the two tables over there. One of them we're camped at. And there's this spot that gets used a lot. And not a whole lot else. So I guess that's the end of our exploration hike of this area. But at least now I know what's up in there. That tree is creaking. It's making me nervous. Imagine listening to that creaking sound while you're trying to sleep in a tent on the ground. Middle of the night. I'm gonna die. That's it. Let's go back to camp. Well, I have been resting here for a while. The sun is going down. It's getting pretty overcast and it's cooling off. So I went and put my thermals on and my puffer coat. I'm more comfortable now. I'm sitting in my chair. Funny story about this. As you can tell, I'm sitting by the table and not over by the fire pit. I came back from my walk and I was like, oh, that sounds nice. I'll lounge in that chair because this chair is wicked comfortable. So I sat in it and the whole thing sunk into the mud almost all the way up to the frame. The legs just boom, and they have these little caps on the end of the legs, and when I pulled it out of the mud, it's not really mud, it's just so soft from so much rain. So I pulled it out and one of the caps came off way down in, so I had to get my knife and dig the cap out and put it back on my chair. So now I'm sitting on solid ground by the table. And I have kind of stomach ache, and I can't decide if it's what I had for lunch, if I'm really tired because I only slept about 4 hours today before I tackled this. If I'm hungry, I can't decide. My stomach is just not happy. So I think if I eat something, I'll feel better. It's getting darker, so I think I'll go get the food bag and just have the food ready in case I decide to eat. Right now, oh, mosquitoes! Mosquitoes are coming out. Time for the bug spray. Anyway, I'll go get what I need out of my bear bag. We'll go get it. Okay guys, what I did is I just went and grabbed this MRE. I have 2 of them with me. This is menu 22. Little secret, that's my favorite number of all time. I see that number everywhere and I don't know why. But 22. Asian style beef strips with vegetables. That sounds really good. So I haven't... What I did is at the first of the year, again, if you've seen these videos from the first of the year anyway, I bought a case of these, a case of 12. So they've come in really handy because they contain so much that I don't have to carry too much with me, and I also, it's all self-contained. I can heat it this way, even though the heating elements aren't what they used to be in these things. Anyway, it's another option over like a Mountain House meal. And I have no idea what's in them. So, let's find out. I'm gonna get all this dirt off my knife. Gross. I'm digging my chair out. Okay. You can peel it and open it, but I usually just cut it faster. There we are. It's pretty bulky. This might actually have some good stuff in it. I think I'll feel better if I raise my blood sugar. I just started feeling crappy after that walk. I think I just burned off any energy I had. Here is the main course. Asian beef strips. Feels nice and liquidy, like Chinese food. Who else gets to have Chinese food in the mountains, you know? There's the cooking sleeve. What is this? Oh, pears. I like these. You can heat these as well. They're really good warm. So like pie filling almost. The apples are even better, but this is pears in light syrup. Pears, water, corn syrup, sugar. Pretty much it. What else? Here's our accessory pack. Not much in there. Geez, I can tell you without opening it. There's lemonade packet here. Right there. And is it sugar-free? Please don't be sugar-free. It drives me nuts. Calories 5. It's not sugar-free. I mean, it is sugar-free. That's what I meant to say. Contains phenylalanine. So, sugar-free. I need energy when I camp. I'm surprised soldiers wouldn't need energy too. So, salt, towelette, toilet paper, and gum. That's probably the weakest accessory pack I've ever seen. Somebody's walking by. This is why I like seclusion. A little old lady out for her nightly stroll. I heard what I thought was music or talking when I was changing my clothes in my tent, and I couldn't figure out where it came from. And she just walked back down the road. She's by herself, probably in her 80s. That's really cool. Listening to it like an audiobook. That's neat. Okay, back to the MRE. Skittles. Excellent. That's pretty cool. I like Skittles. I don't buy them very much. I don't eat a lot of candy, but that's really neat. Let's see what's in here. Oh, please. Okay, if you follow these MRE videos, I keep saying that crap, I'm sorry, but you know that it's always a toss-up between peanut butter and cheese in these MREs. I hate the cheese. It's nasty and deplorable. if I had to survive on it, I would eat it, but that's it. So, the question is, what is this? Yes! It is a good day, my friends. Chunky peanut butter. Haha. I've never had chunky. It's usually smooth, creamy. Dude, that's awesome. I love peanut butter. That makes me happy. What else? What else? What else? This is white wheat snack bread. So just some bread for the peanut butter. And then we have milk chocolate cocoa beverage powder. Okay, you can use hot or cold. We're gonna have hot chocolate tonight. That'll be nice. Warm my bones. I like this meal. It's not bad except the accessory pack. And then finally we have, oh look, strawberry jam. We're having peanut butter and jam to go with our Chinese food. Here's our spoon. So I don't really need my spork, but I will need it for other things. So we'll use the spoon tonight. For the first time ever, usually I just store these at home and use them for other things. And then finally we have our heating element to heat dinner. So we'll keep this as our garbage bag. And we will start. I'm going to eat the pears cold, so the only thing I'm going to heat is the beef strips. And the hot cocoa, I'll probably heat a pot of water instead of using the element, because these things used to get so hot they would just fill up really full and just spew out steam. And a recent subscriber commented on my last video when I made one of these, Recon Shane. He commented that, yeah, they have changed since he was in the military in the late 90s. They're not as good as they used to be. And I've noticed it. You fill water to just right there, and then, you know, kind of get it all over the element and put this in, and it's supposed to just, like, really heat it up. But it barely makes it even lukewarm now. And then it runs out of juice. So, speaking of that, my battery's getting really low. I need to plug this camera in for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and start this off camera and charge my battery before my camera shuts off. Okay, so what I've done is I've prepared the main course. It's getting warm. It's not steaming by any stretch, but I'm laying it flat instead of at an angle so it will be more evenly heated. I'm just really not pleased with these heating elements. So that's what's going on with the main course. And I've got 6 ounces of water here. I'm going to heat it up with my little stove and have some hot chocolate. Sounds very comforting to me. My hands are pretty dirty from digging up my chair and cleaning that fire pit and everything else. So I'm actually going to use the wipe before I eat. Doesn't smell like anything. Expected like essence of lemon or something. Let's go ahead and pour the chocolate powder into my little collapsible cup here. Smells nice. Okay, we have steam coming out the top. It's been a couple of minutes and we have a boil. Not quite what I wanted, but that's okay.
That looks really rich. That's why I didn't bring anything to really drink, because I knew the MRE would have something in it. Just my water. The rest is all self-contained. Alright. Should I stop yet? Tap, tap, tap. Tap it, tap it, tap it. Cheers. It's really hot. It's good though. It's not bad. I mean, it's not gourmet, and for 6 ounces of water, it seems watered down. Whatever. Alright, let's check out our main course. It's been like 10-15 minutes. It should be as heated as it's going to get. How about that, huh? Doesn't really look quite like Chinese food like I expected. It looks more like a chili. It is. It's like a beef stew. It's got potatoes in it. Peas. This does not look like... What was the description? Asian style beef strips with vegetables. I would say beef stew. That's what I would say. We'll see when we taste it. Definitely Asian style. Tastes like that's really good. Ooh, I'm a fan. And the beef is really good quality strips of beef. Very flavorful and tender. This meal has my approval for sure. That hit the spot. That was delicious, that main course. We're gonna eat the pears cold. I'm gonna eat all of this. I need the warmth before I go to bed. You eat right before you go to bed when you're camping. Probably most of you know this. I don't know. Some people don't. But it heats your body up and you stay warmer at night. I wouldn't recommend it at home. You might get uncomfortable, but here's what the pears look like. Perry. There they are. Pretty good. Fresh tasting. Sweet. I really like the apples because you can heat those with the heating element. And it's like eating apple pie filling. It's amazing. These are good though. Okay, peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. I am not going to drink this tonight. I'll save it for tomorrow. Maybe, where are we? This is hard to do, upside down. This will come in handy during my hike tomorrow. And so will these. So this will be refreshing. This will be a good source of energy. We'll keep these for the hike tomorrow. Put them back in the food bag before I go to bed. So this is it. This is dessert. I've seen this before. They even shape it. They even shape it like a piece of bread. That's pretty funny. Here's our chunky peanut butter. Let's knead it a little bit. I need you, peanut butter. Sorry, dad joke. Can't help it, I'm a dad. Several times over. Alright. There's that. It says to cut it along here, but I'm going to actually just cut the top off for ease of control over the peanut butter so that it does not get out of hand. You do not need a peanut butter catastrophe on this camping trip. I'm just thrilled that I have peanut butter. Keep putting my big meat claws in your face. Look what I'm doing. See, it's stupid. Sorry about that. Let's squeeze this out. I'm not used to doing a cooking show, so I have to figure out what you guys can see. If
If I'm not paying attention, I'll block it all. There we go. Spread that around. That's a lot of peanut butter. Excellent protein, excellent energy. Excellent flavor, I hope. Peanut butter usually does taste pretty good. I didn't know they made a chunky. Every one I've ever gotten was creamy. Okay, here's the taste test. It's good. It's not overly sweet like some peanut butter. Okay, jam time. Strawberry jam. All right, spread that around. It's kind of a big, it doesn't really spread well. It's like a big glob of cohesive slime that you can eat. I don't know. It's not spreading. It's just like staying right there in a big strip. Nevertheless, bottoms up. There's my creation. It's good. The bread is, I've had it before, it's very sweet. Not extremely, not like a, sweet roll, but it's sweet. And it goes well with the peanut butter and jelly. And I can wash it down with some cocoa. Great dinner, and my stomach ache is gone. That was the problem. I was kind of hungry, low blood sugar. I feel 100% better. Really good. Started raining on me. I had to kind of grab everything that I didn't want to get wet and run into the tent with it. It is 8:15 p.m. I brought along my little LED lights to keep me company. Those will come in handy when it really gets dark. They actually light the tent nicely. I used them in the bunker when I camped with Joseph Shanks. Okay, and yeah, it's about 10 p.m. Got my little fairy lights on in here all strung up, giving me some nice ambient light. If I need it, I've got my headlamp hanging from the roof. But I don't think I need it. I can see just fine in here. So, at Antelope Island, a couple months ago, whenever that was, and they did a good job in that really dark tent. But in here, I'm already noticing they reflect the light really well. So, it should be very comforting to have these on. When I sleep tonight, I'm not really ready for bed, but I could put on my rain gear and still be out there. I just felt like laying in the tent listening to it rain, because there's nothing like the sound of rain on a tent. It's not a heavy downpour, it's just enough to get out of it. I just noticed I missed a hole in my mesh. I repaired those, but I missed this one. Never camp too close to the fire, guys. Well, my battery keeps running low, and I really don't plan on doing anything but, listening to an audiobook or just hanging out. So nothing too exciting for the rest of the evening. Just relax and enjoy myself. In the tent, out of the tent, I don't know. But my battery is almost dead, and this phone needs a serious charge up. So I'm going to call it a day, and you guys have pleasant dreams, and I will see you in the morning.
So just a little update. It's a little after 10. I'm settled in my tent. I ended up drinking that lemonade. It was quite refreshing. Just needed something to wet my whistle before I went to bed. And in the tent, it's still raining, but I checked the weather and it looks like about 2 a.m., clear skies, only a 10% chance of rain tomorrow, 70 degrees in the valley, which means 60 up here. So this is temporary, but it's nice. It's very soothing. Anyway, I know I already said goodnight. I just thought I'd give an update on the weather. Because, you know, you're very concerned about my weather report. Anyway, I had to put on my frog togs to go out there and use the little boys' room and get my drink. Now I think I'm ready for bed. I feel like it's time to wind down, take some melatonin, and for real this time, call it a night. Okay guys, see you in the morning.